Good Friday morning, everybody. Happy July 22nd out there. Yeah, we got a very active pattern coming up, guys. Let's waste no time here. We got many days of severe weather here going through the rest here of this weekend, going even into next week, as well as a major heat wave that does continue across most of the country here, and as well as an additional heat wave kind of starting to build up across portions of the west coast of the United States as we head into next week. Very active here it was on your Thursday, July 21st out there. A lot of damaging wind reports across portions of New England, getting down here to the East Coast here, all the way down into the Carolinas, the Deep South, and into portions near the Red River there in Texas. A lot of hail reports as well across the Dakotas, even some significant 2-inch or greater hailstones falling into southern portions there of North Dakota as well during the afternoon there on Thursday. But moving ahead here to today, we got that ridge that's kind of flattening out. The ridge center is kind of centered across portions of the four corners, but it's kind of falling apart a little bit on its eastern side there and kind of flattening out a little bit, just due to the fact that we kind of have that zonal flow across the northern United States, and that is responsible for that heat out there as well. With that ridge in place, we got lots of upper 90s to widespread lower 100s here across much of the central southern plains, extending over here into portions of the Tennessee Valley, the southeast, and even some 90s getting up here to the upper Midwest as well into portions of Minnesota, Iowa, and then lots of heat starting to build across portions of Nevada, Arizona here in Southern California. Some of those areas could be approaching 120 or higher as we head into this afternoon. But again, I did mention that severe weather pattern here kind of continuing as we head through the day today and into this weekend. We got three separate areas of a marginal risk here, one across North Dakota, northwestern Minnesota, and northeastern South Dakota, and then kind of a larger marginal risk area here from much of Nebraska, northwestern Kansas, through much of Iowa, Illinois here, south central Wisconsin, and southeastern Minnesota. And then we got a marginal risk across southern New York State, much of Pennsylvania, and eastern Ohio as we head into this afternoon. Again, if there were to be kind of an upgrade to a slight risk, I would still favor portions here of eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, and far southern Wisconsin for that upgrade here. If the Storm Prediction Center does go ahead with that upgrade, we'll definitely continue to kind of watch this area to see what the Storm Prediction Center does do as we move through the afternoon today. Looking at the NAM model here, we got kind of a quiet radar picture potentially here as we head through much of the day. But as we kind of get towards that peak heating time frame here, mid to late afternoon, we got some storms trying to pop up here in that first marginal risk area across portions of southern New York State, much of Pennsylvania, into eastern Ohio. Still kind of quiet across the Midwest and northern plains as we head into the mid-afternoon hours. But as we kind of move toward the dinner time frame, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, we'll start to see some storms start to fire up across portions there of potentially southwestern Wisconsin, northeastern Iowa, maybe some isolated kind of storm action across North Dakota, South Dakota as we get to this time frame as well. And then we'll start to see kind of a signal here from at least the NAM model is showing the potential for kind of some storms developing very quickly and rapidly growing upscale into kind of a smaller MCS cluster or mesoscale convective system across eastern Iowa, northwestern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin as we head into this time frame. Again, maybe another smaller MCS trying to develop across portions there of North Dakota into northwestern Minnesota as well. That we'll kind of have to watch as we move to the evening and overnight hours. But as we kind of move into early Saturday morning, the MCS potential, at least kind of the signal of one developing across the NAM model, is showing that kind of moving to the southeast across central Illinois, portions of northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, and southern lower Michigan. Also kind of a signal here for kind of another MCS to develop into Saturday morning, kind of in association with a cold front as it kind of pushes down across portions there of the Dakota. So a lot of moving parts here as we move through the day today. So I'll definitely keep you updated on that as well. I might be going live today, potentially, if we do have a slight risk issued across some parts here of the Midwest. So stick with the notifications. And again, make sure all notifications are turned on because I definitely will be going live if we do have a slight risk upgrade as we head into this afternoon. But as we move here into Saturday, a very interesting weather pattern is actually going to continue as we have that ridge really extending here from west to east across the south central United States. To the north, we got that zonal flow with kind of a subtle trough across the southeastern Canada the region. But as we kind of move into that time frame here for Saturday afternoon, July 23rd, yeah, again, a lot of that heat kind of extending down across the middle and eastern portions here of the country, even some parts of here of the western United States still kind of starting to heat up as well, and the portions here of eastern Washington, eastern Oregon, southern portions there of Idaho, lots of temperatures there in the low to mid 90s. Again, those areas that are in the lower 100s here from Nebraska down through Kansas here, the Oklahoma, North Texas, and much of southern Texas as well, the Missouri Ozarks, southern Iowa, just many areas into the 100-degree mark as we head into your Saturday. But to the north of all this heat, we're going to be watching for the potential of a potentially significant severe weather outbreak that could be unfolding as we head into Saturday afternoon and especially Saturday evening and overnight. The Storm Prediction Center has maintained an enhanced risk, which is a 3 of 5 on the scale from 0 to 5. And yeah, there is a 3 out of 5 here across western and central Wisconsin, southeastern Minnesota here, northeastern Iowa, with kind of a large slight risk zone as well across south central Minnesota, northern Iowa, far northwestern Illinois, as well as portions up toward the Green Bay area, getting down towards Milwaukee here, and then up into northern Wisconsin as well. And then that marginal risk extending across the entire state of Michigan here, northwestern Ohio, northern Indiana, northern Illinois, the remainder of Iowa, and getting into east central Nebraska here as we head into your Saturday afternoon. But looking at the individual kind of risk hazards with kind of the potential, significant severe weather outbreak that could unfold on your Saturday afternoon and evening, we do have that 30% here hatched area of some damaging straight line winds. And the hatched area does mean that winds could be over 75 miles per hour potentially here with the strongest of those gusts as we kind of move into that Saturday evening time frame with that upscale growth to the MCS here, even that 15 to even 5% chance of some damaging winds kind of outside of that area as well, getting back into southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, far northwestern Illinois, as well as southern Wisconsin, and then kind of getting back towards the central plains as well. Looking at that hail threat, again, that 15% shading here for hail across most of Wisconsin, northern Iowa, most of south central Minnesota here, and then that 5% shading here across the remainder of portions of the upper Midwest into portions of the central Great Lakes, getting back towards east central Nebraska, the remainder of Iowa, as well as the eastern South Dakota. But in that 15% area here, we do have kind of a shading of kind of a hatched area across the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, getting up towards northwest Wisconsin, and that is actually for the potential of 15% hatched area of potentially hail over 2 inches in diameter. So the hen egg or golf ball size hail potential or higher is definitely possible as we move into the afternoon hours, with mainly those initial storms, as they could be supercells and then kind of rapidly grow upscale into kind of an MCS or mesoscale convective system as we head into the afternoon and evening. And then kind of concerning the tornado risk, again, we got that 2 and even that 5% chance of tornadoes, mainly centered on portions of west central Wisconsin here, northwest Wisconsin, eastern portions of Minnesota, extreme northeastern Iowa, and then that 2% shading moving into portions of northern Iowa back towards the Minnesota and South Dakota border, and then maybe far northwestern Illinois and eastern portions of Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan as well. So with those initial storms, we could watch for the potential here for some tornadoes as well. Probably not talking about any strong tornadoes, no EF2s or stronger, but you can't rule that out, but definitely kind of not really talking about a tornado outbreak per se. It's really going to be kind of more of a damaging wind and hail threat as we move into that Saturday time frame. So let's kind of look at the HRRR model. Again, this is the 06Z run. You can see that we're starting to see kind of a couple of hints of, a couple systems moving through. We got one south of the Chicagoland area, getting into portions near the Fort Wayne, Indiana area as we head into that kind of the dawn hours here of your Saturday morning. We got another MCS kind of maintaining itself across portions of the eastern Dakotas into western Minnesota as we head into this time frame as well. But as we kind of move into that, late Saturday afternoon time frame, we'll start to see the MCS cluster really develop farther to the south here across southeastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, and then really kind of propagate across the heart of Wisconsin here towards the Cheddar Curtain up into southern Wisconsin there as we move towards the evening hours, again around Milwaukee, getting in towards portions there of Madison, Wisconsin, and then back toward La Crosse. Some very heavy rainfall will also be an issue with this, as well as there's a lot of low-level moisture in the environment. So not only will you be talking about the potential for some significant damaging winds over 75 miles per hour, some significant hail over 2 inches in diameter in some spots, and maybe even a few tornadoes. Add in the threat for maybe some flash flooding in some isolated instances, and yeah, that's another form of severe weather, so we'll definitely have to watch that as well. Then this will kind of maintain itself as it kind of moves to the east and see more development across portions of Iowa toward Des Moines, getting back toward Omaha, maybe even toward Lincoln, Nebraska, with kind of scattered showers and storms. Some of these could be strong to severe as well as we head to the overnight hours, with that kind of high level of instability still maintained across these areas on the northern periphery of all that heat. But concerning the rainfall amounts, again, a pretty good healthy swath from eastern Minnesota, much of Wisconsin there, getting in towards central Lake Michigan and southwestern lower Michigan. Yeah, we could see a swath of 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. Definitely not out of the realm of possibility as we head into that time frame here for Saturday night into early Sunday morning. But as we move into Sunday, again, the same thing is there. We got the elongated ridge kind of moving itself here to the east. We got a lot of, that zonal flow with kind of that subtle trough across southeastern Canada. And again, the pattern is still there for more active weather as we head into Sunday. But before that, yeah, a lot of heat down there as well. 105 into portions there of southern Kansas, 104 near Tulsa, 102 in Oklahoma City, 102 in Dallas-Fort Worth, potentially up to near 100 here in St. Louis, as well as Memphis, as well as Little Rock here as we head into that Sunday, July 24th period. Again, we have another area here with a marginal risk as that cold front will continue to kind of move down to the south and east. We kind of have a marginal risk across the southern Great Lakes, for portions here of northern Missouri, southeastern Iowa through much of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, southern portions there of lower Michigan, as well as New York State and portions there of northwestern Pennsylvania, including the Pittsburgh area as we kind of move towards that Sunday afternoon time frame. Timing that out using the NAM model, again, kind of that ongoing cluster of showers and storms from your Saturday evening, moving across much of lower Michigan, much of the Great Lakes here into portions of the southern lakes, as well as we move towards that Sunday morning time frame. Maybe a couple storms kind of lingering back behind across portions of Omaha, Nebraska, near the Kansas City region as well on your Sunday morning. As we move toward the afternoon, kind of peak heating time frame, we got that monsoonal weather with that kind of moisture, moving northward around that, ridge of high pressure out there. So we got some storms here, probably not severe across these areas as the shear profiles, the wind shear is not going to be very, strong in these areas, but definitely maybe some heavy rainfall, some cloud to ground lightning. And can't even rule out maybe some pea to dime size hail potentially with some of these storms across Colorado, New Mexico, and getting in towards the northwestern plains. But kind of looking across the southern Great Lakes here, maybe some stronger storms developing as we head towards mid to late afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock on your Sunday, and then propagating to the south and east across Ohio, portions there of Indiana, maybe through New York State, northwestern Pennsylvania, and that marginal risk as we head towards, the 6, 7, and 8 o'clock time frame. Then we're kind of going to watch across portions of the Dakotas, getting into western portions of Nebraska, maybe eastern Colorado for kind of a couple of complexes of storms that could try to develop as we head towards that Sunday evening into Monday morning. But again, concerning the rainfall, the heavier rainfall looks to set up across portions again of the southern Great Lakes here from portions of northeastern Indiana through northwest Ohio here into northern New York State, and maybe some heavier rainfall if we can have some storm complexes develop across portions of South Dakota here, getting down to eastern Colorado as well heading into your Monday morning. But then kind of turning the page here towards the very end of July, going toward the 27th through 31st time frame, really ending the July period here with the last few days of July. Again, the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center does favor nearly certainly above normal temperatures across the Pacific Northwest all the way down through California here in Nevada, with slightly above normal temperatures across the Deep South as well as the East Coast, with that trough kind of incoming across here portions of the upper Midwest here in the northern plains, getting down towards the central plains there, kind of a below normal signal as well. But there still will be warm days in there, so don't let this fool you. There definitely will be some warm days, but generally looking at this period, generally more below normal here than above normal across these areas. Also a very active pattern as well that will persist as we head towards the late period here, the last few days of July. Above normal precipitation from portions of the Mid-Atlantic, the southern Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley especially, and then moving into portions there of the southern, maybe even the central plains as well as the Four Corners here. That would be some good news if we can get some rainfall down here into portions of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. So that is what we're looking at as we head towards the last few days of July. And then underneath that ridge across the Pacific Northwest and the northern plains, we're kind of just going to be seeing more of below normal precipitation during this period here with a lot of that sinking air. So moving into next week, we can see that there actually is next Tuesday. That ridge is still, we kind of have that zonal flow. But looking up to the north, we got a shortwave trough that'll be moving in here from the north across central Canada and moving into our southern Canada, southern Canadian prairies as we head toward the early portion of next week. But as we get toward the middle of next week, we're watching a couple features. Again, we're watching this very strong, large shortwave trough moving in, kind of an upper level trough across portions of Manitoba here into western Ontario, Canada. But again, we got to kind of, as this, trough moves down to the south and east, that'll force that ridge across the center of the country to kind of back westward here with that ridge really building across the west coast. That's why they're going to have all that heat out there. And that will just continue as we head towards late next week as well, with that upper level trough kind of, persisting across Ontario, Quebec, Canada, and getting into the southeastern Canadian prairies kind of as we move towards next weekend. Concerning the temperatures out there next week, yeah, still that heat's going to be hanging around here, the southern and central plains, but look off to the west. 103 up there into portions of Washington State, 102 into portions of Northern California, 102 in southwestern Oregon State, and that just continues to intensify as we get towards that Wednesday time frame here on July 27th, and then even that Thursday time frame. Look at that, 106 into portions of south central Washington State, 102 into eastern Washington, 108 into portions of northwestern Idaho. So a lot of heat starting to build over there, and again, still a lot of that heat across the southern United States from Texas all the way through the Gulf Coast here in the East Coast as we head towards that Thursday, July 28th time frame. But concerning the longer range pattern here, there's a lot of variability here with the model forecasts. Again, a lot of the models kind of disagree. Again, you kind of figure that as you go to longer here in range, the models kind of disagree on a lot more things. But this is next week, and the models are kind of disagreeing on kind of the timing and placement of the trough and kind of where this moves in across the Midwest and Great Lakes. So looking at the European model on your Tuesday, again, we could have some storms across the Tennessee Valley and the Mid-Atlantic, and then that trough coming in with maybe a cold front across portions there of the Dakotas and then the arrowhead there of Minnesota. But as we move toward Wednesday, the European forecast model does insist on a potential MCS cluster, maybe some severe weather across the western Great Lakes once again, as we head towards that Tuesday or Wednesday time frame. And looking even here at the GDPS, or kind of the Canadian model, showing another large footprint of a potential MCS somewhere across the central or western Great Lakes during that time frame as well. Just a little bit later in time. The European model was showing it during that Tuesday night into Wednesday time frame. The Canadian model, or the GDPS model, is actually showing this during the Wednesday night into Thursday time frame, so kind of a day later. And then the GFS doesn't really show it at all. So it really has to do with the strength of the upper level trough and kind of the timing and the placement of where all these features move and come together as we head towards next week. So we'll keep you posted on that. But considering we're seeing a very strong volatile atmosphere here with the strong heating to the south, all those 90s and 100s, you got the cooler air with the trough moving in here from the north, and kind of the collision of that across the middle of the country there. Once again, that battle zone, as we call it, across portions there of the Midwest and western Great Lakes. Perhaps the western Ohio Valley will start to build that instability up as we head towards the middle of next week. The climate forecasting systems model, again, has been very accurate at pinpointing these patterns. Again, don't take these models verbatim here, especially the climate forecasting systems model with, it's showing 4,500 joules per kilogram over northern Illinois. That's not the case. It's just showing you the trends to show you the potential that we could have severe weather during the middle of next week. So guys, thank you for watching. Definitely appreciate it. If you guys have not pressed the like button, definitely press that down below, the thumbs up button, and definitely leave your comments, questions, concerns below. I'll be able to get to those later today. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Thank you guys all for subscribing here yesterday in the live stream. Definitely much appreciated. Again, if we have a slight risk for this afternoon, I will be going live, so do stay tuned for that. Turn all your notifications on as well. Otherwise, I will be going live for sure on Saturday afternoon. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend.